Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. Today we're going to be chatting about the connection between sleep and the gut-brain axis, essentially the sleep-gut connection. There is definitely a connection there. Good gut health is going to equal good sleep. We're going to break down why and things that you can do to help improve that. Before we do, please smash that like button. Really helps the search algorithm. And put your comments below. Love to know your thoughts on the topic. So, really important. Okay. So, we'll talk about the stages of sleep here in just a second. There's a handful of different stages of sleep, about anywhere between 3 to 4 stages of sleep. We have REM sleep, where we have rapid eye movement, and then we have non REM sleep, which is essentially non rapid eye movement. We'll kind of go over what that looks like and how that helps and how that correlates with your hormones. And then we'll talk about how the gut interplays here as well. I'll share with you guys a couple of things on screen. So, 4 big stages out of the gates here, just so you guys can see. Stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, the first 3 stages are going to be non-rapid eye movement. Okay, 5 to 10 minutes for stage 1, 20 minutes for stage 2, and then about the whole entire 4 stages going into REM sleep. That's about 90 to about 110 minutes. I'll give you guys kind of a graph on that so you can see how that looks. But this plays a major role with repair, with hormonal repair, psychogenic repair. That's turning over your neurotransmitters, being able to relax, processing all the stresses of the day. All these things make a big role in your body's ability to heal. Here's what a sleep cycle looks like. And again, if you're watching on Instagram, we got the screen share going on YouTube. So take a look at that, justinhealth.com/YouTube to see that. So we can see the big phases of sleep. We start around 10 p.m. You can see how that looks. And then each phase is about 10 to 20 minutes or so. And then you can see the first 3 phases are non-rapid eye movement. And then rapid eye movement is the last phase. And it's about 90 minutes, about an hour and a half to go through each stage. And you'll be going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hopefully 4 to 6 stages or phases in a night. Ideally, the higher level is better to optimize growth hormone, to repair. And again, usually the first part of the night here, this 10 to 2, this is where we're going to have a lot of physiological repair. This is where growth hormone really maximizes. This is where we're going to repair our muscles, our connective tissue, our ligaments, our cartilage plays a big role. And the last half of the night, this is where we're turning over a lot of our neurotransmitters, GABA, serotonin, dopamine, epinephrine. And this plays a role with mood and being able to deal with stress. So really important. The whole thing needs to be optimized. First half of the night and last half of the night. We'll go over this in a minute. This looks at the gut brain sleep connection there. We'll talk about that in 1 second. Really interesting study here out of the gate. They're looking at growth hormone. We're looking at prolactin, cortisol, and adrenaline. And so you can see we're going to be maximizing. So growth hormone is going to maximize this first part of the night. So this is like right around 11 o'clock, 2300 military time. This is popping up. So this is where we're going to maximize our growth hormone. So essentially between 10 to 11 and 2 a.m. So really important we get to bed before midnight so we can tap into this maximal peak of growth hormone. Again, we're not going to get this if we don't have good, if we're not in bed. Like if you're up video gaming or watching TV, you're not going to get this great growth hormone output. And then you can see here, look at the cortisol and the adrenaline. The cortisol is going to come up at the end of the night. Why? This helps wake you up. It's on a sleep dark cycle. So sun in the morning is going to maximize that. That's going to wake you up. And same with the adrenaline. And if this starts to become a little bit earlier due to stress, due to inflammation, gut impacts can easily affect that. That's going to wake you up in the middle of the night. If we have blood sugar swings, this can easily create cortisol fluctuations earlier and adrenaline fluctuations earlier due to like maybe blood sugar dropping because we have a lot of adrenal issues. So these are all things we have to look out for. And then this is our growth hormone curve. Growth hormone the first half of the night, cortisol the last half. So it's really important that we get to bed before that midnight time frame so we can tap into that growth hormone. All right, good. Let me hit that here for a sec, guys. So really important. Now, the gut connection plays a big role, right? The gut microbiome has a major impact on sleep, right? Because the gut consists of trillions of cells and it plays a critical role in digestion, immune function, and producing a lot of neurotransmitters. So GABA is a big neurotransmitter that's going to be regulated by healthy gut microbiome. So will serotonin, and they're going to have a huge role at relaxing the nervous system, especially if the sympathetic nervous system is in overdrive, relaxing that, calming it down. And then the serotonin is really important for motility, so gut motility. So if you have constipation or that slow migrating motor complex, getting your serotonin levels up through good, healthy gut function plays a role, and also being able to digest and break down protein. If we don't have good digestion and we can't break down our protein adequately, we may have a hard time having good motility, and then also getting and absorbing the building blocks so we can have healthy sleep. So that plays a really, really big role. And again, research suggests that a healthy gut microbiome plays a role in better sleep. Let me show you one study here out of the gates. Okay, pull this study up here. So this was interesting, right? In summary, chronic sleep disruption led to an increase in fat mass. Inductive selective alterations in the gut microbiome increase gut permeability. So essentially, this is a mice study, so it's not perfect, but they basically sleep deprived these mice where they would wake them up every couple of minutes, and the waking up induced gut permeability, and that created issues with insulin resistance. So you can see down here, it drove adipose tissue inflammation, insulin resistance, and it prevented deeper sleep. So this is an important aspect where the sleep deprivation actually impacted the gut, and then the gut permeability from the sleep then caused insulin resistance and more inflammation in the body. So this is really important, very important. Another good study here, they found that total microbiome diversity was positively correlated with sleep efficiency. So you have two major families of bacteria. You have Firmicutes and Bacteroides. These are the big phyla of bacteria. And when we look at gut function tests, we'll be able to see if these things are high or low, out of balance. Now, the issue is you could have other bacteria in the gut, whether it's Bifidobacter or Lactobacillus or other dysbiotic bacteria like Klebsiella or Citrobacter that could be throwing these type of bacteria off. And so it may not be you just got to bump up Bacteroides and Firmicutes, and maybe we have to clean out some of the bad stuff and then really work on probiotics and prebiotics and then build up that good Bacteroides and Firmicutes, that phyla base. But in this study, there was a positive correlation between microbiome diversity and interleukin 6. So essentially, good diversity, low interleukin, low immune activation in the gut. Remember, the more active your immune system is in the gut, greater chance we're going to have inflammation. And then that cortisol curve that we talked about here, this can happen earlier, and this could potentially pull you out of sleep or prevent you from getting into these deeper phases of sleep here. This rapid eye movement, the REM sleep, is where you're going to get most of your restoration there. And so if we have inflammation due to gut stuff, that's going to significantly impact it. So really interesting. People don't think of the gut connection with this whole thing, and there's just a strong correlation. You know, we talk about like natural sleep things, but we got to work on the gut too. That plays a big role. Okay. So insufficient or disrupted sleep can contribute to gut dysbiosis and gut permeability. The more permeable our gut is, the more the immune system is going to see foods and LPS or endotoxins or the outer coating of the bad bacteria. It's going to see these things in the bloodstream, and it's going to stress out the immune system. So that is definitely not a good thing. Now, what can we do about it? Getting some good fiber-rich foods in our diet. Now, what kinds of fiber? Most people hear fiber, they're like, oh, lentils and beans and grains. Well, typically those things can be inflammatory and hard to digest. So if you already have a lot of bloating or digestive issues, probably not the best thing. I'm going to recommend things like fermented foods. It could be coconut-rich yogurts. It could even be some fermented goat kefir. Be careful with the dairy and the casein and the lactose. That could be sometimes problematic. If someone has a lot of gut inflammation, I would recommend an autoimmune kind of lower FODMAP diet out of the gates. And again, a low FODMAP diet will have some low fiber. It'll be low in fermentables and oligo and disaccharides and mono and polyols. So we may have to clean out the gut first if you can't tolerate some of these prebiotic fibers on the front end. If you can, kimchi or sauerkraut, coconut kefir will be excellent foods. Adding in like avocado, sweet potato, some safe starches that are lower FODMAP could be helpful. Greener bananas can be really good as well. Again, the more stressed we are, the more the adrenals are in overdrive, that's going to have a major impact. That's going to have a major impact on our ability to activate the parasympathetics. So we may have to get the adrenals calmed down. Now that can be meditation, that can be prayer. I've seen things like cold showers be very helpful, Epsom salt, foot baths. My favorite adaptogenic herbs are going to be like ashwagandha or holy basil. They're going to be awesome. Things like theanine, I'll do things like theanine will be excellent. I'll even do GABA. And theanine does impact GABA. Sometimes people do well with GABA as well. We'll even add in some valerian root or some lemon balm, or even sometimes California poppy can be really helpful at calming down the nervous system. But I typically am telling patients, like, be on top of your blood sugar during the day. Like start your day off with a really good hydration, really good protein and fat at each meal, not going longer than 4 or 5 hours, really dialing in the digestion. Because if you can create good, healthy food, good nutrient density, and then you're not creating stress at each meal, meaning you're not getting overly bloated, overly inflamed at each meal, that makes a huge difference. So chronic stress can impact the dysbiosis. Like we mentioned, it creates gut permeability that overstresses the immune system. Again, sleep hygiene is going to be important, getting the blue light down. So one, if you're going to use blue light, get dimmer switches on your switches so you can at least knock it down 80%, get some blue blocking glasses, do some simple things like that. If you're going to watch TV at night, try to have your glasses on or use like night shift on your iPhone, or there's some different apps that you can use that will knock out the blue light. That'll be very helpful. If you have chronic inflammation in your gut, work with a functional medicine practitioner and get the inflammation down. Follow my 6 R's. Work on getting the food dialed in. Work on replacing the enzymes and acids. Work on repairing the gut lining and the hormones. The hormones play a big role because we have this circadian rhythm happening here, right? And if this is out of whack, if we don't have good growth hormone repair, if our cortisol is out of whack, if our adrenaline's out of whack, that's going to impact our ability to get good sleep. And we need to really be on top of that. Let's see here. What else do I want to follow? So we talked about the fibers. Sometimes people cannot handle the probiotics, and we have to deal with that on the backside after we've done the first 4 hours. Remove the bad foods, replace the enzymes and acids, repair the motility, gut lining, and hormones. 4th hour, we work on removing the bugs. That's the 4th hour. 5th hour, we work on repopulating pre and probiotics. Think of probiotics as seeds, prebiotics as fertilizer to help those bacteroides and firmicutes kind of grow and help the good lactobacillus and bifidobacter grow as well. Limit your blue light exposure. That's super important. Get to bed, before at least 11 o'clock. You saw that growth hormone, increase there. If we can really be asleep ahead of time, that's going to allow us to tap into that. And then we're going to have really good psychogenic repair from that 2 a.m. period. And that's going to make a big difference. Obviously, limit things like, coffee, caffeine. If you're going to do coffee or caffeine in the morning, make sure you can tolerate it. If it's making you anxious, if it's giving you palpitations, mix in some collagen, mix in some MCT oil. That will time release it. If that's not enough, just pull it out or go decaf. Again, if you can handle it, consume it in the first 1 to 2 hours of waking. Coffee will mostly be gone in 12 hours or so. It's got a half-life of like 8, but it's got a terminal life, I think, of like 12 to 16. So consume it as soon as you get up. So by 10, 11 o'clock, it's out of your system fully, okay? Hope that makes sense out of the gate, guys. And then regarding the sleep stages, really just that kind of gives you an understanding of what's happening in the background. Again, the more you can manage your nervous system, manage your adrenals, that's going to make a huge difference in you tapping into a really good deep sleep and really having those 6 to 8 complete REM cycles during the night. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please let me know. Put it down in the comments. Feel free and share with friends and family. If you want to dive in deeper from a functional medicine standpoint, feel free. There'll be a link down below where you can reach out to my staff. We're happy to help you. We see patients worldwide on the functional medicine side where we kind of dig in deep, look at the gut, look at the hormones, look at the circadian rhythm, really try to understand what's happening from a root cause perspective. So we're not just band-aiding these things. We're actually getting to the underlying kind of root cause of what's happening. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Any comments, let me know here. If not, you guys have a phenomenal day. Take care, y'all.